Hello, everyone. Samantha-Jayne Love here from Love Talk, the place where we talk about all things attached to love, how we can get more love into our life, how we can create a deeper love for ourselves and all of the people that we have in our lives. Today is Wednesday, and Wednesday is relationship day in our life. So I have my beautiful friend and partner, business partner, really could get clarity on that. Julie Ryswyk from Relationship Alchemy Code. Woo! Thanks for jumping on today, Jules. So Jules is having a very bouncy day today, which is amazing because it looks like the boo's working. So as I said in the thing, grab your boo. If you don't know what it is, PM me. And we can chat about it. It is absolutely amazing.
So much about that. Like I could say so much about boo, but anyway, we won't.
That's another conversation altogether.
I was going to call it the black C word, and then I thought, no, I better not. I don't know what your audience is like.
So today we are really going to talk about what it is to have sovereignty, and we're just going to explore what that is and just roll with that. We've been really feeling the collective energies that are going around and really working on how to stay within your center when there's so much going on outside. Everyone's got an opinion about something. Everyone's like, do this, do that. I'm right, I'm wrong. It's freaking exhausting, really. It's really exhausting, especially if you feel all of the energy. So I'm talking about Julie and myself, have really been, I suppose, really coming back home into our center so that we can experience those energies and also know that we can, guide others through the process. So always on Love Talk, we always have cats and dogs and probably children in the background. So if you don't like it, Isabella will probably come and make a little announcement very soon. Well, that's it. She's probably got something to say about all of this stuff too. So I have a very big dictionary. Look at this sucker. It's an old book thing. Yes, kids, there's a thing called books. That's what we used to do back in the olden days.
Yeah.
So to be sovereign or to have sovereignty is essentially, in the dictionary, what it says is to be a self-governing state. What does that mean, my darlings? Self-governing state. That's to have free will and choose whatever you do. Morning, Phoebe. To choose how you live within your body. Just let that simmer for you a little bit. Because over the years, we have been, I'm going to use the words, fighting for the right to vote, the right to come into the bars, come into wherever. So as I'm going to speak as a woman, we have been fighting for a long time for equality and to be able to choose and stand in our sovereignty. And I was watching I don't know, I think I might have been Netflixing, and there was something that I was watching, and it was only, it was a depiction of things, but it really stood with me. She said, it doesn't matter what they do to my body, I'm still essentially she was claiming her sovereignty. So it doesn't matter all of the burnings, the hangings, all of the things. It doesn't matter which lifetime this is. I'm still choosing myself, and I'm still choosing whatever it is that aligns right with your values.
Yeah,
So
it's a huge topic, and I think too, like sovereignty, people. It's like the new buzzword that's going around, but it's so important that we understand what the word means and
yeah,
what it means for us. So
yeah,
basically, I think, we talk a lot in our program about coming home to yourself, or that's,
yeah,
and sovereignty is just really knowing who that is and coming back to, I suppose, having the courage to unpack our bullshit so that we can get there.
yeah,
Because I know
totally.
for me, coming back to this place, it took some work. It wasn't like I went, oh, okay, I'm going to stand in my sovereignty. It was like I had to do some fucking work, and there was lots of moments in that process where I went,
Yeah,
oh my God, I was such a manipulating, controlling bitch. And I was. Especially to my kids. I've apologised. I said, not really.
yeah, and it's I suppose when you jump on the healing journey, the hardest pill to swallow, we're not talking about the red pill or the blue pill as they talk about in the Matrix or whatever. The hardest pill to swallow is actually taking responsibility for yourself and all of the things that you have done, whether or not they're learnt behaviors, whether they're generational behaviors, whether whether you're trying to, you may have been doing certain things to keep you safe because you've had shittiness in your life. It's about when we take full responsibility and go, from this moment forward, I'm going to delve into the uncomfortableness and I am going to be seen in my unperfectionist manner. I'm going to be seen in the raw, vulnerable state of me not knowing what the fuck I'm doing. I'm going to be seen in the, I don't have my eyebrows on today. That's my one. It's an ongoing joke, everyone. And it's being seen in the rawness of your human nature. Yeah.
Well, we all have it. We all have that generational or, and when we talk about trauma, it doesn't have to be anything huge either. Like, I had a traumatic childhood, but when we're unpacking this stuff, it's normally in our unconscious that we're packing a lot of our belief systems. And really, if someone said to me 6 years ago, what do you believe in? It would have been quite minimal because I really didn't understand the power of the unconscious mind. So even though I was doing I was positive and mindfulness and meditated and all of that stuff, I really didn't delve into that unconscious state where that's, is such a huge percentage of where the work needs to be done.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think that, there's so many things that we, are literally unconsciously doing that to have a full change within it, we really need to delve into that part of us because, using that willpower and going, I'm going to change and I'm going to do this every single day. And it's willpower. But what's actually happening is that your unconscious mind's going, no, I want to go this way. And your willpower's going, no, we're going this way. So it's like, those, I don't know whether they still do it, but in my head, I can see a man pulling a big aeroplane. And so that man is your willpower, your conscious mind, and the willpower, and he's like willing himself to, I can do this, busting a pooper valve and But behind him is that unconscious, heavy plane of all the things that has always happened. And yeah, he'll move it, but he's going to be exhausted. And, that's where we go into overwhelm and, just we hit the wall. We talk about the hitting the wall, but if we can change the way that plane is sitting or our unconscious mind, that's when that magic starts to happen. And then if we have all of the parts of ourselves and we start to then embody all of these changes, that's when, as a dancer as well, like you would just remember moves because you've done them over and over and over again. So when you change something, you need to keep repeating these things over and over and over again to yourself.
I want to do my first stool.
Oh, okay, maybe in 5 minutes.
No.
Do you want to say hello? We're live. Can I wave? No? Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes. You want to take this? Yeah.
Well, I think too, for this sort of audience, it's about discussing about how that unconscious actually shows up in the real life.
Yeah.
So what does that look like? So it could look, and fire away, but I'll give you a couple of examples. So when we haven't really worked through our stuff and we've suppressed stuff and we've got belief systems that aren't really ours, how they show up in our everyday life is through, reacting. We may feel triggered. It may look like justification. It might look like anger. It might look like depression. It might look like all of these things. I'm not sure if you've got any other examples, Sam, but that's just one.
Yeah. That's probably the overall of it all. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think too, with relationships especially, frustration, and if it's coming from a place of frustration, how do we get back to a place of sovereignty for ourselves? Firstly, with relationship alchemy, it's not about fixing a bond between two people. It's about working on self.
Yeah.
And if you've got that power within yourself, it's like you'll stop moving your boundaries, because this is another huge issue that I see, like
massive.
When it's showing up in the world, when we haven't done the work, it shows up as boundaries moving, like the goalposts are moving all the time. And once you do the work, you don't tend to do that. You're less likely to do that. You're less likely to have people around you that aren't going to lift you up, because that's another thing. People find themselves in circles of friends that are not healthy for them, or don't bring the light, or
totally. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Wow, that's how we work here. Well, yes, everyone, love talk. We are still in lockdown, so I am homeschooling. So this is how we roll. And that's, this is part of my claiming my sovereignty of being, a mum who is a little bit stressed. But this is what I love doing this. I love sharing with people how to have better relationships within their lives. So I have moved things around. We have lovely music in the background. And before I was getting really anxious and upset and frustrated because I didn't have my space. So I had to change my perspective and change my unconscious mind around this and go, you know what? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter whether the kids.
It's real life. It's what happens.
Exactly. And, this is the point of relationship alchemy. Life goes on, and we will be having, there will be things that happen. We don't know when or if or when, or, we are getting taken out of.
Yeah, and I think you touched on a really nice point about what we do is, when we're willing to work on ourselves and look at the stuff and see that different perspective of that ripple effect that it has on everyone around us.
Yeah.
So be not just doing it for you, but you're actually being the ripple effect for your children.
Yeah. Exactly.
And everyone around you.
So, Jules, because this is real life, do you want to just take over for 5 minutes? So, just maybe, let's expand on this a little bit. I'm just going to do mummy duties for 4 seconds and I will be back. So maybe just give them a little bit of we talked about boundaries just before. Maybe just let's discuss. I'll be back to discuss about boundaries and how to better instill them.
Yeah, okay. We'll talk about something. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about, but here I am going to talk about something. And I think too, like with boundaries, I never really knew what my boundaries were. So they were quite, I would see that showing up, that one day it would be okay to do one way and the next day the other way. But really when I set my own boundaries for myself, I don't have the issues showing up like I did. So it's getting clear about our boundaries and how we they just automatically now set that you can just go on and you just won't attract the negativity that you may have attracted before, or the experiences. It doesn't have to be negative, but the experience. So if you've been attracting the wrong type of person, or the people around you, when we're really clear about ourselves and we've come back into ourselves, we're clear about those boundaries of who we actually are, those issues just don't show up anymore. Hello, welcome back, host. I don't know, I was just rambling about boundaries, so I'm not sure.
Awesome. I was just dealing with not some bullshit, but some other type of baby poo. That was just, this is real life. This is, this is as glamorous as it gets sometimes when you're a mum of little ones. And yeah, you've got to take those moments and turn them into gold. Because she will very soon be going, I do not need you anymore, mother.
Well, I think a lot of mums have experienced poo days.
Yes, that's it.
Part of the role.
That is true. So how do we bring... So we're talking about sovereignty, and I think sovereignty also affects us out in the wider community as well. So we were created, or some people believe that we were created in God's image, and he gave us free will. So whenever we talk about asking the angels or our guides or anyone to help us, and what it is that they will not intervene at any time unless we ask for help, because we were created with this thing of free will. Even God himself, they say, any of the gods, goddesses, anyone will not intervene unless we call in their help. And so what that it means is that no one can force a decision. They can wait and stand by at any time. But yeah, they are not able to. And how do we stand within that space of power when we're claiming our free will, when we're claiming our sovereignty? How do we, Julie did mention it before as well, how did we remain in that place of home? point 1, breathing. Breathing, breath. So one of the things, look, my children are taking over the show today, so let's just talk about them. So they definitely are, have little tantrums when they're getting to know their way around things. If mummy says no, they have a tantrum, see whether they can change that no. So one of the things that I've been teaching them since they were little is to breathe, because they get to that point really quickly.
Well, I think before too.
Yeah, and I know that I've been in that point too as well. So, and it's quite funny because they'll tease each other when one of them is in the we'll go, all right, let's do some breathing. It's not to say that I'm diminishing whatever they're feeling, but if it's just a little tantrum that they're having just because I've said no, then we'll just go straight into the, all right, let's have some breathing. And breathing. And they know, and they even make the noise because we're making it that it's normal to have sound as well. So it's something that even when they go to school or into daycare, sound is not necessarily a great thing. I think my little one with her wildness is amazing. Not all the time. But she's wild, she's free, she knows where her boundaries are, and she's finding her place in the world. And I don't want to be the one who breaks her little spirit. So we allow her to be noisy. So our house is very noisy. So yes, coming back to your breath is probably the number one tool as well. Jules, what would be your next tool?
Well, I think, when we're talking about that word and what it means, it's not, we have all of these tools that we can use, but I think the really vital point is about embodying them. Yeah. Because we don't want to just add another tool without embodying it, because then if we just add something else, what we do is it becomes I should, or if we embody what that feels like. And I was never taught how to handle emotions. Like, you're teaching your daughter that it's fine to be loud, and doing the sigh from the breath, that what does that feel like? Like, what are you releasing, like, in that moment? Yeah. I do heaps of stuff for myself. So I will jump on a roller, or I'll lay on my spiky mat. We call it a shiitake mat, but that's not the real name, but it does look like spiky little mushrooms. But whatever you're doing, whatever tool you're using, you really need to embody what that is, what's happening when you're using that tool. Yeah. And when we put that intention and that embodiment into it, it actually is so much more powerful than just going, here's a breathing exercise.
Totally.
So, I mean, you're doing that with the girls, but it's like, I think embodiment's been missed a little bit when everyone's got all these tools out there, and they're all great tools. Yeah. Any kind of self-empowerment tools are great, but it's, why is it working for you? Yeah. What is it doing for you? And I think too, on that subject is about just getting really, really inquisitive about yourself. Question everything. Yeah. If you're triggered about kids leaving a mess somewhere, well, what is that? Like, where is it coming from? Because I need the house to be clean, or, you know, like, really, when we just dig a little bit deeper, it's like,
Yeah.
Do I need to yell and scream at a child because they've left a pair of shoes or an empty shoebox on the counter here? Well,
That's our girls. Yeah.
You know, I used to be a clean freak, so I used to like everything, and I do because of energy. Not,
Yeah.
I think before I didn't understand why I needed it like that, but now I sort of understand that I like the flow of energy.
Yeah.
It creates to have a really simple household, if that makes sense. Because I find clutter and all that kind of stuff really gets me feeling like that.
Yeah.
So I think whatever kind of tool that we give people is about understanding what it's making you feel like and how it's actually helping you, and what is it doing? Is it soothing your mind? Like, if we're doing journaling, are we emptying the mind? What does that feel like when we've actually just sat there and journaled?
Yeah. Because for me, I think of journaling and I'm like, oh, it's another thing to do right now. Everyone says it's amazing, and probably if I started doing it, but I have two little girls, and as soon as I buy a pretty new journal, especially if it has glitter on it, because I love my glitter, they're like, Mummy, thanks. And it's got pink squiggles everywhere. There goes my journal.
Yeah.
And I have, I probably have a belief system based around it that I need to have this special, pretty little journal. I should probably just get the ugliest one ever, and they would just leave it alone. Anyway, that's just another thing for me to work on. Because we are always working on ourselves as well. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would just like to say thank you. And I hope that it's such a big topic that, I think that it brings in a lot of spirituality. So it doesn't matter how you feel about any spirituality, whether you're religious or whether you're not religious. But I believe that sovereignty comes back to when you're coming into your soul. Some people don't believe in souls too, so that's another, kettle of fish. So, but I believe, that's my belief, that if we come into our soul and and connect our soul with the host body that we're showing up in, that's when we're coming home. And we can do that through I find that movement helps as well. So with the breath, I'll go into movement. There's always dancing or jumping or all sorts. If you were at the beginning of the video here, Julie was jumping. I'm normally jumping. Have the tatas jumping around. And yeah, so we delve more into this in the Relationship Alchemy course, the 8-week course, which we do have coming up on. So I have dropped into the comments below the event link. Now, you still have time to jump on for the early bird price. And then you get both of us, amazingness from both of us. Or if you jump on the early bird price, it is only $555. Now, we know that time is tough for some of the people out there, and that, we are here to support you. If you are feeling a yes, that you want to change your life so that you can bring yourself the gift of sovereignty, divine sovereignty, the gift of love to yourself, so that you can then, whether or not you're in relationship or not, we're having relationships with the people that we're conversing with, even if we're, even over Zoom. So that if you're not feeling the best, you're not going to have a great conversation even over Zoom or emails, or when you go, when people get to start humaning again back in Victoria and New South Wales, are you going to remember how to human again?
I don't think I remember.
Yeah. So I'm not even saying adulting. I'm just saying humaning now. Or is it that you've been cooped up with your children so long, or, whoever it is, even the housemates, and, you used to just run away from things. So you'd run away and go for a run. You'd go for a walk. You'd go for a bike ride. And you would be at the gym. You would be dancing. You'd be so full and so busy that you didn't even know who you were, because you were always busy. You didn't sit still with yourself. So even now, even Netflixing, having, music is good as well, but it depends on whether you're hiding or whether you're using it. That can be another different conversation as well. So are you ready to jump in to fully living an inspired life?
Because we will unpack it so that you know what it is.
Yeah.
And look, we laugh and we do those things, but we do both know how to hold space for people in this environment. But we do, in moments, really try and lighten it up as well and have fun with it, because it can be a little bit heavy too. But we do hold space for people very well, to really uncover what it is that they need to release or discover, or just even having that conversation, verbalizing what's been going on for them.
Yeah.
Because, especially blokes, they haven't verbalized that.
And as humans, we want to be seen and heard. And it's not just, oh, yeah, you look pretty today. Maybe it's not, I want to hear that I'm looking pretty today. Maybe it's, I want to hear someone say, oh my God, you've been working really hard and I can really see it. Like, just those different words, we go into how people want to hear things as well. So for yourself and giving gratitudes to others. So please, you get both of us. So, which is amazing, because, just working for the 8 weeks, if you're working with one of us, it'd be over $2,000 each to work with one of us individually. So these are bargain prices, because we want to give back to everyone. We want to raise the vibration. We want to be able to bring everyone into, not like living in fear or living in shame, which is like, shame is the lowest vibration. And some people can't even admit that they're living in shame. So if you're in denial, living in this vibration, we want to bring you up to the love vibration. Love vibration is for 28 hertz. So we want to bring you up to a minimum of there. We use sound, we use all of the therapies, we use everything at our disposal. And we're always learning stuff. So we're putting new stuff in all the time. We would love for you to come on the journey. Reach out to any of us on any. I've got my team behind me as well. So, and so does Julie. We would love to have you on this journey. Anything else you want to add in, Jules?
I don't think so. I think you covered it really well. It really is about just lifting the vibration and showing people what is actually possible. I used to think saying, to be happy, but now it's really about feeling into going through life with that inner contentment that you're safe. You're safe within yourself,
Yeah.
pretty magical.
Yeah.
And some days I just sit there and go, wow, I'm actually content with everything that's going on. Yeah, maybe I want to travel, but we won't go there.
First world problems. That's for another chat.
But it is. It's finding that inner contentment space that I really would love everyone else to discover for themselves, because it's something that I'd never had. I always had a positive mindset, was always, doing all of that kind of stuff, but I never really understood how to embody, learn about emotions, how to stand in my own sovereignty, I suppose, coming home.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Julie, for joining me. We will have more love talk for you next Wednesday, and join us tomorrow if you're around. I have Robbie Yates, and we're going to talk about some pretty way out stuff. 5D, Egyptian gods, who knows where we're going to go. It's going to be a lot of fun. This is Samantha-Jayne Love. This is Love Talk, the place where we talk about the ins and outs of love, how to find love for yourself and then emanate that out into the world. Bye.